Okay, so today I have with me, Richard Pang, who is the Senior Vice President, Aviation and Aerospace of Marsh. I met him at a conference. He was just sitting next to me. And then when I found out what he's doing, wow, I was really excited because I never imagined that there is such an area that is so important. So I'm going to invite Richard to say a little bit more about what he's doing and what was his university training and how he found out about this area of work. Richard, a few words about yourself.
I'm electrical engineer by training, and then I did a master degree in computer science, and subsequently along my career, took an MBA as well. So what I'm doing is right now I'm representing a company called Marsh Space Projects, responsible for the risk management for space and satellite projects. I'm also a part-time lecturer at the University of Hong Kong teaching satellite communications.
So what does the insurance company has to do with like satellites and aircrafts?
Very interesting question. Yes, it seems completely two non-overlapping areas. This is recorded in 2016 as a launch pad in Florida. The rocket you see is SpaceX Falcon 9. It's a very reliable rocket.
Wow. Was there anyone in there?
There's no one there.
Okay.
So thankfully, that's no casualty. But what happened is during a test process called a static fire test, because of some leakage in a helium tank, so it caused explosion.
How much did you lose?
It's about 200 million. That's the cost of the satellite, plus the launch cost. This is a nutshell to illustrate the importance of risk management in the space and satellite programs. It's very much a process of managing the risks. We also help a customer to look at the entire cycle of a space project. So from the satellite is being built from the ground to the launch, and even after launch, when the satellite is in orbit, you have to make sure the satellite itself can perform according to the business plan. And also we have to ensure there's liability involved. Let's say the satellite is being collided with another satellite or that's hit another satellite. So there will be a third party claims. So this is something also we have to help the customer to mitigate all these risks.
So do you need to calculate all these probabilities and then work out the premium and?
Yes, very much. The premium is calculated based on probability, and the probability very much depending on the heritage. So it's very important. We have to advise customers, if you look for a new rocket, the cost can be very attractive, but the premium might be costly as well.
So in some countries, there's legislation that if you're a driver, you need to get like insurance for your driving.
That's right.
So is there any legislation that requires like rockets or rocket launchers to be insured?
Yes, it's a good question. For example, in UK as well as in Singapore, third-party liability is a must. And in Singapore, for example, IMDA would impose the satellite operator to have liability coverage. Here it's showing statistics since year 2000, how new rockets perform. In the rocket itself, there's a lot of manual work involved. There are different kinds of failure we see from the electrical system, propulsion system, as well as the payload as well.
Yeah, I remember the Challenger disaster. It was just like an O-ring problem.
In a lot of this kind of anomalies, in hindsight, it's something because of the time, because of the cost, try to not use the most robust way, but then things happen. Right? So yeah, that's a good reminder. Follow the process.
So engineering precision is very important.
Right, that's right.
Mm. Just now you mentioned the possible types of accidents that could happen. So what are some of the items that people would insure? Do you get to pick and choose what you insure? Or is there some standard things that always have to be insured?
In the satellite industry, the entire satellite will be insured. You can't go into subsystem to see which
Mm,
is more reliable than the others. So we look
mm,
at the totality, the
mm,
heritage, the track record also. But as an insurer, you always look at the two separate elements. One is the bus or the platform. One is the
mm,
payload. The insurers like to see is the redundancy. If there are 30 amplifiers on the satellite, let's say the first two failure, they will not insure. So it's something
mm,
like concept of like deductible in
mhm,
our health
mhm.
insurance.
Yeah.
It's you have to make sure the customer also put some skin on the table.
So what are some of the skill sets that are very important in order to do well in the profession such as yours?
In the space insurance broker or risk management,
Mm,
I would say it's a combination of three things, right?
mm,
First is the technical knowledge. Actually, I refer a lot of things are quite fundamentals in high school days, from Newton's law, from orbital mechanics, communications 101, like the fundamental of antenna theory, EM wave propagations, soft skills like people skill, interpersonal skill, EQ. It's
mm.
very important. It's probably it's required as important as the technical skill is more important. Then I
Yes.
think the third thing is always like the aptitude, the level of commitments, the
Mm.
desire to help your team, your clients to succeed. Right.
So the devotion to excellence,
Right.
teamwork, and, communication, and of course, a very solid technical skills are
Right.
all very important, to do well in this profession.
Right.
Mm,
Equipped with both the technical skill and
mm.
the interpersonal skill, they'll give you a unique advantage.
Actually, out of curiosity, because you graduated as a electronics engineer,
Right.
um, so how do you chance upon this like profession actually?
Initially, when I first graduated, I spent
Mm,
most of my time in antenna design. But at the same time, I think I find a little bit too engrossed into the technical details, and I like to branch out to meet customers, to see people's
mm.
requirements and how we can respond to the needs as well. So
Any final word of advice for students?
I look back, I find sometimes it can be a challenge.
Mm,
I experience every lecture seems new to me, and
mm,
somehow I was not able to connect it. Every lecture is new, and every
mm,
lecture I, I end up in a loss.
mm,
And I think over time, if we can get a perspective from a distance to see how engineering can help the world, can change the world.
mm,
Sometimes I think in my days, the curriculum is too very engrossed in the detail. So sometimes
mm.
we lost the big picture. Some of our friends or classmates feel a bit bored. When we look at the space industry right now, that there's so many companies planning and already launched so many low Earth orbits. So it is a very interesting time right now. And it's
Mm.
always good to ask ourselves why they're so interested with this space industry. I was asked by my master degree students, this is not a finance course. Why we talk so much about the investment? Access to space is getting cheaper, but still
Mm.
expensive. And it's all about mitigating the risk. Keep in mind not only the technical part, but there's a commercial part as well in the industry as well as in your study.
That's great. Thank you very much for your precious time.
Thank you, Dr. Ho. Thanks for
Yeah,
having me.
yeah, I think the students will very benefit a lot from your sharing, and I think you also open up new horizons for the students.